Step into the furnace where failure becomes light.
They named him an idiot. He reached into night and caged the sun.
Curiosity was his only compass.
He set fires, not for ruin, but for revelation.
10,000 failures were not the end. They were the map to the one success.
And then, light endured.
But fame invites rivalry, and rivalry demands war.
The dreamer had become the face of an empire.
Admiration can be its own kind of cage.
The light gave him an empire. The price was himself.
From darkness we were born. Yet one man dared to capture light itself. They called him defective, a fool, too broken for the world. What is invention? A gift of genius, or a bargain with the unknown? What is light? Salvation, or the beginning of our enslavement? And then came a man who caged the lightning. His spark became our fire. His dream became our world. They called him an idiot. A boy lost in shadows. They called him the branded idiot. But behind those eyes, a fire no one could see. They called him defective, a fool, too broken for the world. His teachers saw failure, not fire.
His father saw shame, not destiny.
But one voice refused the world's verdict.
But his mother saw wonder. She gave him light in the darkness.
For millennia, humans worshipped the flame. But who was the first to trap lightning inside glass?
He set fires not for ruin, but for revelation. Gaslight was weak. He dreamed of a sun that never burned out. From silence came rhythm. From rhythm, design.
Is this failure or the first whisper of light?
1,000 failures, and still the fire inside refused to die.
Failure piled upon failure, yet each ruin whispered a direction.
The night became his accomplice. And then, light endured.
They named him an idiot. He reached into night and caged the sun.
When power was discovered, it was not shared, it was fought over. Could light itself become a weapon?
The war was not just of science, but of markets and men.
Once a pioneer, now a fortress under siege.
But another current began to flow, threatening his empire.
It was not merely science. It was war for the soul of the future.
Every empire meets its shadow.
Defeat was not the end, only another invention waiting to be born. Here, in a small town, the modern world was born.
It was not just a laboratory. It was a dream factory.
One man stood at its center, half dreamer, half machine.
This was not a solitary genius, but an empire of minds.
10,000 failures were not the end. They were the map to the one success.
The light was never the end. It was the beginning.
Menlo Park became a shrine of the modern age.
Genius was never without its torment.
The world crowned him a genius.
Time itself could now be replayed.
Nations gathered to witness the miracle of light. He had become more than a man. He was an icon. But fame invites rivalry, and rivalry demands war. The battle for power was not fought with words, but with lightning.
Progress always demands its price. The dreamer had become the face of an empire.
The applause faded, but the silence grew louder.
Once called idiot, now called genius. But every genius must face his shadow.
Genius demands sacrifice and takes without mercy.
The closer the light, the longer the shadows it cast at home.
The mask of the genius never reveals the man beneath.
The brighter the fame, the deeper the shadow it leaves behind.
An empire was not built of stone or steel, but of light. The world was waking to a new kind of dawn.
Light lengthened the day, but also deepened the night of labor.
From continent to continent, the empire spread.
Light became not just invention, but power over people.
The empire consumed not only resources, but its maker.
The beating heart of the empire pulsed with electricity.
Every light casts a shadow. Every genius pays a price.
The empire burned bright, but the man behind it faded into shadow.
The light gave him an empire. The price was himself.
The empire thrived on hours stolen from its maker. Fortune brought power, but also chains.
The man who gave voice to the world lost his own within his home.
Admiration can be its own kind of cage. The body could not match the relentless fire of the mind.
must write a theme now to me.
All lights dim. All empires fade. But the question of legacy endures.
Every page carried sparks of light, yet so many remained unread. Even the brightest mind could not complete its constellation of dreams. Every step slower, every shadow longer.
He gave the world his light. But what of the ones closest to him?
And then, silence.
But his light did not die. It lived on in every spark, every night lit against the dark. The machines waited. But their master had gone. Thomas Edison, the man who gave light to the world and vanished into its shadows.
The world remembered the name, but not the man.
A single spark became a fire. That fire became a world.
It gave eyes to dreamers who read after dark.
In light, lives were saved. Darkness retreated.
A web of light now binds the planet together.
For in every darkness there is always a hand.